What is up, baby dolls? We're going to be speaking about the ratios here. I'm going to do a very quick video update for you. I do believe that I can sniff some blood here. And the chart I'm specifically looking at is the pHEX to pulse ratio. That's exactly what we're looking at right here. So this is the pHEX USD chart itself. And I've just had some historical marking places here. And you can see the price chart that everyone really knows about, friends. So once again, yes, you can try to delete a chart, say it's cycle 1, blah, blah, blah. But I've marked these point levels of key resistance and knowledge by the market because I know they're all watching them. I know you're all watching 5 cent, 10 to 12 cents, the 19 cent, 20 cent level. And I know everyone's going to appreciate them because I've marked them here. If we have a quick look at the ratio though, this is, remember friends, this is nothing to play around with. This is a weekly chart. This is a very long time frame chart. Okay, you didn't put on a monthly. You see that right here, bang, 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 all the way down here. So we can just basically have a look at, I like looking at the weekly for these ratios. By the way, weekly is still very, very big. 3 days is really more appropriate because by the time the weekly flips, like it doesn't even have enough prints here. So even if you look at the 3 day here, you can just see that basically, friends, during this bull market phase, HEX has been weaker than PulseChain. And there are a lot of people out here. I counted 8, that's right, not 7, not 9, not even 15, but 8. 8 HEX influencers calling me out, saying that this ratio had bottomed, and funny enough, 3 of them all said that I was consensus and all called me Jim Cramer. 3 of them. I thought it was interesting. I go, that's weird. How come 8 of you are all saying that I'm consensus? That sounds like your consensus. So I think that was very fascinating as well to have a look at. So I can sniff blood, friends. I don't know what's coming, but I'm just telling you, I could just, you know, like sharks in the water, you just know. How do I know this? It's because I've been in this situation many times with many coins. Now, what does blood really mean? I mean, you don't really know this. I mean, like you've held through so much pain anyway. Who the hell cares about another 30%? Right? I'm being serious. Like who the hell cares about another 30%? You've sat through the freaking 97% down, but what will like 30% do here anyway? Bank here and there. But I think it's more the sentiment. That's the important part. By the way, that ratio can go down as PulseChain goes up with Ethereum and then HEX is lagging as well. That's also possible here. And I also want to remind you, a lot of people trying to pick this bottom. I don't like to tell you. People tried to pick the bottom here. They tried to pick the bottom here. They tried to pick the bottom here. And now they've tried to pick the bottom here. This was when Richard Hart tried to kill eHEX. And then this is the strength of pHEX going up. But as you can see, just wicked back down. So they've tried to pick the bottom here. But I just want to show you something. This took a number of months to top out. If you actually want to find out from when it basically topped here, it took like, look at this, it took like freaking 114 days. So even if you believe this is the actual bottom, you got 114 days, friends. You're like, whoa, that like brings you out to July. So I feel like the staking and then there's 5-year stakes coming out. And the biggest clue that came to this to me was basically, friends, you sit here for 18 hours a day, you see stuff. You just feel stuff, you sniff stuff. And trust me, I love sniffing a lot of things, friends. So if you look at the eHEX chart, most people isolate eHEX to just Richard Hart tweets. They go near 85% down. And even though despite I told everyone, go, look, that's capitulation. I like that. And a lot of copers here don't like that. I went out of my way to say, look, I do believe that this is a foreshadowing of other weak hands out there. Maybe, you know, the whole 52 weeks to shake out the weak hands, friends. Yeah, just to let you know, the 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands is basically almost done. That's crazy around the April part. So we can actually look at, this is the eHEX pHEX ratio here. So we can have a look at it right here, just printing this little green candle. But I've also mentioned right here, yeah, waiting for a potential capitulation. Now, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just waiting to see, you know, and you don't have to worry about rotating or doing anything major with your portfolio because when these big macro shifts come, all right, you have some time here. For example, if you go down, this is a 3-day chart, friends, even a daily chart, for example, if you really, let's say you were in Pulse and PulseX, and let's say you were like really nervous. As soon as this flipped green here, you had your chance. It goes up, look, it flips green again. It comes back down and then actually comes up here. You see that? So it takes a while to actually do all its damage. But as you can see here, right, we've come back and flipped red. So don't worry about playing with too many time frames. The most important part is as we're waiting for the conclusion of this first wave of Bitcoin and it's halving. Is there going to be a crash or not? I think the ratios will start to adjust here and there. You got to remember as well, we do have, okay, let's play for you some nice, gentle Habibi Albi music. We do have Richard Hart there, basically lurking as the guy behind the curtains with a very, very big wallet size. However, now you just got to think, okay, what's the chances of him fighting the market here? Because guess what, friends? He did fight the market and it didn't turn out so well, did it? Basically, the market just ate him up. You know, he came here, he bought pHEX only, bang, rejection straight away. Just basically just using him as exit liquidity. And think about it. What would you do if you had 200,000 people watching your wallet and then you fed money into the market and then people use it as exit liquidity and dump on you? I'm asking you, what would you do? Would you keep feeding it? Would you keep feeding it? Probably not. Also, his Ethereum trade is pretty offside now. It's like $50 million offside in that. So if he's feeding from that wallet itself, he's taking a loss to try rescue other losers here and there. So that's basically the game theory behind that. That's why I think it just makes sense to just wait it out and just chill out. Obviously, friends, yield farming is amazing. You have PulseChain, PulseX, yield farms. You even do the HEX, PLS. I'm still shocked personally that how good the freaking yield farms are and everybody in crypto is sleeping on them. So I can show you them to you right now. I mean, friends, I'm just in shock. This is 20% for our core blue chips. It shouldn't even be that high. That's like the godsend, by the way. This is ridiculous, 120%. This is just nuts. pHEX to Pulse is 45%. You're like shockingly high. Like, whoa. Like, you're just thinking, like, honestly, if I was Richard, I'd be scratching my head right now going like, what the hell is that going to take? But you know, friends, I've told you that if Richard's out there, in every cycle, mysterious blueprint, cycle 2 narratives, which is what we are, DeFi, DEXs, right? DeFi altcoin, HEX, alt layer 1, which is PulseChain, the whole package, right? And Ink is cake token. That's cycle 2 narrative. That was popular last cycle. These only tend to pump. They're due to move at the either end of this year, at earliest up to like Feb next year when they start to really kick off. And it is what it is because people are preferring, unless you want to like rename everything to artificial intelligence chain and just basically try to free ride on a cycle 1 narrative in that regard. So friends, I'm thinking maybe this eHEX capitulation, like I said, I think it might be a sign that there's pHEX people out there because, see, everyone obviously missing the big picture. It's crazy, friends. I'm not here. I don't force anything, okay? I see actions, I see the market interpreting, and then I see the ratios, okay? And then I just tell you, hey, this is what's happening. I'm just a language interpreter, okay? That's basically all I'm doing. I'm 18 hours a day. And I understand for people, sometimes they see the accuracy of this and they're like, there, you're controlling something, you're doing something. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I've shown you here. Like, I can't make it any more clear, friends. You're seeing this, right? When market went risk off, they dumped Pulse and PulseX. When market goes risk on in a bull market, they're preferring Pulse and PulseX. This is over pHEX, right? Compared to pHEX. So then you got to think, okay, what's going to happen for the next year? Are we going to go more bull market or less bull market? So unless, of course, God Hand Richard comes and does it. And remember, he's a very, very powerful wallet. He can come and reprice ratios. However, I will say this. I've seen central banks fight the market, friends. And Richard Hart's like a mini central bank here. So if he wants to, look, if he really wants to, he could send it up here, man. He could send it up here. He could do that. But I reckon he does that, this thing comes back down. That's what I reckon, something like that happens. But hey, during this time, you would have time to exit. Okay, that's pretty much it. I don't know if he will do that. Personally, I wouldn't do that. Would you do that? Would you blow everyone's money to just go prove a point on some sort of ratio? No. I'd let them bleed and bleed and bleed, right? And remember, there's a capitulation week down here, right? I would let them bleed, and then pretty much everyone thinks it's dead, then we can go the other way. However, you got to be careful because if this thing goes the other way, is it going the other way because HEX is pumping to 25 cents, or is it going the other way because Pulse and PulseX have stopped their rally and now it's time for them to crash harder? That's something to think about. That's why we also invert the ratios, okay? So I can sniff blood, friends. It's like, you can sniff blood. I can sniff people lurking. These people who capitulated in eHEX, I'm like, I know. Look, man, friends, it takes a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you do HEX staking, when you emergency end stake, you get the big warning sign, warning. This is an advanced reader. Don't do it unless you know exactly what you're doing. Like to click through that and to do that and to just capitulate, blah, like it takes a special type of schizo, panic mode, fear to do that. And the way I see it, if someone is willing to do that in one leg, why aren't they willing to do it in another leg? Okay, so that's why the ratios unlock the secret, friends. They really just show you how the market is behaving. So I'm not doing anything here. I'm just telling you, hey, do you guys know this is how you behave? Like, just like, friends, like, you know, people, there's ratios for everything, right? So when I tell you, like, for example, ETH BTC, Ethereum, okay, during bull markets, look at this, okay, during bull markets, so risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. This was the merge. This was an anomaly. Okay, and look here. Now, we haven't hit the risk on part. We're hoping this hits the risk on part. I mean, Richard and everyone's playing for that risk on part. You see how that happens as well? Same thing as the ratios. Ethereum is leverage on Bitcoin. I saw this long post from Richard, Eric Wall talking about Richard saying, oh, the whole system's leverage on Ethereum. Basically, friends, Eric's like one of my secret admirers pretty much. So just newsflash for you, Eric. 98% of all altcoins are leverage on Ethereum, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Ethereum is a freaking beast, unicorn, the premier, like blue chip of the world in terms of smart contract capabilities. And guess what? Ethereum is leverage on Bitcoin. You see what I mean? And guess what? Bitcoin is leverage on the stock market. So there you go, friends. We're all on a risk curve. You see that? It's just that with the HEX community, PulseChain community, we can identify, oh, yeah, we're leverage on Ethereum. I said that, friends. I said that. I didn't say that like, oh, you're all relying on Ethereum. Yeah, friends. Good luck fading Ethereum. You want to fade a guy like Vitalik? His brain can barely fit in his skull, friends. So this is the pulse to pHEX ratio, and we can actually dive deeper on it. All you have to do is, friends, for example, remember, if you go to the three dots here, you can invert the pair. This is on the HEX to PLS ratio. So you can see it. This is basically, you can see where I went basically pretty much all in here. Okay. Now it went super aggressive, but like, we just got to tell you right now, I'm going to be super careful about telling people to sell and stuff next time because of the risks that these things carry. Okay. So during bull market, this thing has been absolutely crushing. I have this little target here. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I'll be honest, I already declared victory. Because I just want, like, you know, everyone's got to deal with it themselves. However, I'm just thinking these wicks, it was trading up here and then it went risk off. I'm wondering if it continues all the way up here and we continue up there. I'm just wondering if that happens. And then I guess we'll just figure it out later on. You never know. I think the rest of the crowd might FOMO into Pulse and PulseX up here. They dump their HEX for it and they disrespect HEX even more. And then we might find it goes the other way. And then Bitcoin breaks the all-time high again, or maybe continues on its run, and then this thing goes up. Maybe that's the very end. You might see something like that. Just having a guess here, okay? But it's undeniable. I sniff blood because the wipeout in PulseChain with OKEX delisting, thank you very much, guys, and the wipeout with PulseX last year at the bottoms with people saying PulseX has no use case, which is wrong. Right? PulseX actually has the biggest use case in the whole chain, and it's freaking real yield. And everyone in here is crypto for a casino, and it's basically got the hyperburn. That's real demand stuff. So the fact that the crowd believed the counter narratives and dumped them for pennies, we haven't had that in HEX, which is shocking to me because I'm like, man, really? You guys think 1.5 cents in HEX is expensive? Oh, man, it is what it is, but it's just not me talking. So this ratio, friends, unlocks the key. This is what the market's basically been doing. I want to let you know this, right? So when we went down here, it was Richard's eHEX tweet. Market went back the other way, and then he tried to basically fight it again. He basically says, no, I'm going to buy pHEX only. We went down, but look at this. The market's basically come back up. So it was literally this is the inverse rejection of that other ratio that I just showed you as well. And don't forget, friends, there is like more leverage on PulseChain as well with the pHEX, with PulseX itself. But first, I've just noticed something from Mr. Web 8 here. He goes, the market says no. PulseChain is an Ethereum fork. Cycle 3 technology, strategic failure. Look, friends, obviously, I'm very honest, very critical. This is being wrong, bro. What you're doing is, okay, just letting you know, what you're doing, my friend, is you are looking at the colors of PulseChain right now, PLS. Let's put it on a regular chart. You're looking at this red monthly candle, and you're telling me why it's red. Okay, you're telling me why it's red and why it should be red, and I'll just tell you that history is not, it's not kind to people who invest with that mentality. Just to let you know, okay. He also says Ethereum is getting front ran by high throughput L1s in real time. To be honest, it's looking like the only asset that will save the entire rigid ecosystem is Jax X1. I think, don't forget, man, they're all part of one umbrella. It's people who like fair launch, real DeFi stuff. Even though everyone doesn't think they mix, they kind of do here and there, all right? So remember, the ultimate big daddy, though, is PulseX here. PulseX buy and burn, 761 billion PulseX burnt. Right, still trending up. PulseX can receive the most upgrades. So that's pretty much, look, at the end of the day, look, friends, it's not HEX, PulseChain, PulseX, okay? Separate them in your mind. HEX can't be upgraded, okay? It needs full-on expansion packs. You can't upgrade it, okay? It's a finished product. That gets stale and older over time. That's it, okay? In a bull market, people want upgrades, okay? In a bear market, they want something that can't be screwed up, all right? That's why HEX, it gains strength as everything else sinks. As you saw, I just showed you in the risk-off period, right? HEX gains strength. Now you have PulseChain, layer 1. Now, layer 1, for the most part, is done, but it takes on Ethereum's upgrades. You can add layer 2s. You can do things like changing the throughput. It can get future upgrades for Ethereum here and there, and the market likes that. The market appreciates that, and they're thinking, oh, wow, you can be upgraded, right? That's more risk of things that can break, but cool, we like things that can break in a bull market. That's pretty much what people want. So, you know, PulseChain is like leverage on HEX, right? Then you go a step further and you PulseX, right? The DEX exchange. Now, that's the thing that can be upgraded the most. It's so much easier to do that, but it's higher risk, right? Adding limit orders, for example, changing the buy and burn, different PulseX yield farms and stuff here and there. You can see how they just add each other on the risk curve. But yeah, that's the unfortunate reality with crypto, friends, is basically everything's kind of correlated, and it's just basically pick the fastest horse and sell in euphoria. That's sad. It is what it is. Even when it comes to like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So, but the problem is picking the horse. Do you have the framework, right? That's why I have cycle 1 coins, cycle 1 narratives, or cycle 2 narratives, trying to find new coins, trying to get deep discounts, okay? So everyone's just basically throwing poop at the wall and seeing to happen, hoping to see what sticks. Okay, so now you have basically the whole picture here. I still think, right, we're going to be waiting here just to see if this blood does play out. What does it look like? Because at the end of the day, I mean, the prices are really cheap to me. And they are cheap to me. I'm just thinking like, man, what are you waiting for? But you know what they're waiting for, man? It's where DeFi category, man. DeFi, it was cool in 2020 and 2021. Now, historically, according to 4-year cycle, this is the year for AI, DePIN, DEC, SCI, restaking, those airdrop stuff. Very unfortunate, you know, because most of them are grifts and everyone's just going to get wrecked at the end anyway. But you can't argue with the market, right? There's product market fit. Also, new memes too. Another one as well. So we'll wait and see what happens. Look, someone even asked me, hey, man, what if this is the one where DeFi doesn't even move at the end? Then we get wrecked. That's it. Then we get wrecked. Then we just have to accept much lower returns. It is what it is, friends. That's why, am I out here feeding you dopamine? No, I'm not. I'm telling you, well, you know what? What if euphoria sucks, man? What if euphoria's price isn't enough? Well, at least you had opportunity to farm yield, 1, and 2, increase your stack size. Because it can still, friends, as long as you're convicted, you make it through all of these, okay? So, yeah, if you have any DCA bullets on the sideline, personally, I'm just waiting. Like, I want blood, man. Okay, I'm seeing racist ticker names, basically black versions of like Pepe and black versions of just famous actors, just spammed all over Dex Screener for Soylana, and they're just throwing the N-word everywhere and just like absolutely going nuts. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, we've seen this before, dude. This is like the buyers are exhausted and they're about to get a wipeout here and there, but just let's see what happens. Okay, look, just seeing that. Look, I want you to think that you're seeing this disgusting like hyper gambling stuff. If you buy other coins on other chains not associated with them, I want you to know you are still buying with them at the same prices. That's something you must understand, okay? Because you are effectively buying the same total crypto market cap, okay? You must understand that. It's very important, because people whose coins that they aren't euphoric will hit the top of the bull market. They will see Coinbase app ranking #1. They will see froth and euphoria other places, but their coin won't be euphoric. And then they will incorrectly assume that it's okay to keep buying their coin because they haven't hit euphoria yet, when unfortunately it means that the market has thrown in everybody it can throw, and they've already allocated. It's just you have to accept that you didn't pick the right portfolio, which, friends, that's one of the hardest things to do. That's why you can hedge against yourself with this by absolutely cracking some hard size and DCAing as much as you can. But what do I know? I'm wearing a Jigglypuff hat. Make sure you like, subscribe. Catch you soon.